want to make sure you can see my Satan dress. See, it's a pentagram. Cause it's Halloween! It is the month of Halloween, so I have got my pentagram dress, my bat lights, my spooky tea light holder that's in the shape of a pumpkin, but not a real pumpkin because I'm too lazy for that. And today we're gonna be talking about the spookiest thing of all, bad 90s special effects. And that can only mean one thing, a Goosebumps. In 1992, author R.L. Stine began writing a series of children's horror novels under the collective title Goosebumps. By 1995, the franchise was so popular it was adapted into an anthology television series of the same name. And guys, I love it. I genuinely, unironically love Goosebumps. Is it good? No, not really. Is it great? Hells yeah! The plots are cheesy, the acting ranges from bad to, oh god, I went to Juilliard. The special effects are hilarious, and I swear there is the same dog barking sound effect in every single episode. Seriously, go watch any random episode of Goosebumps right now, and I guarantee you will hear this sound effect at some point. Was it like an in-joke? Is this their Wilhelm scream? I don't know, it's just always there. But sometimes Goosebumps wasn't scary or spooky or even spoopy. It was just weird. And we're gonna talk about the top 5 examples of that. Yay! Number 5, The Phantom of the Auditorium. So a lot of episodes would use stock movie monsters like vampires and werewolves and mummies. But you know who's not a stock movie monster? Phantom of the Opera. This episode is about a school production of The Phantom, which is straight up just Phantom of the Opera. The cast begin being haunted by a real phantom who turns out to be a homeless man who was trying to scare them away because he was worried they'd find out he was living in the auditorium's basement. Once again, that's just Phantom of the Opera. But wait, on opening night, a ghost appears on stage to play the role of the Phantom. There was a real phantom-y phantom all along. Woo! This is like one of 2 episodes of Goosebumps that I never saw as a kid. And I like to imagine the reason why is because this one was so bad that they just stopped airing it. Because it's just Phantom of the Opera, guys. It's just Phantom of the Opera. Like, I felt like I was being gaslit while watching this episode because it's Phantom of the Opera and nobody will acknowledge this. Nobody will say anything. They're just pretending it's a totally different thing, and it's not. And it's not even a good episode. It's boring, and it's bad, and you see the plot twist coming a mile away. I would have rather seen them straight up adapt an episode from Phantom of the Opera. You guys know you can do that, right? Like, the book is in the public domain. Andrew Lloyd Webber doesn't own the rights. You can just take it. Just take it and make something slightly better than this. Please. Please. Number 4, an old story. These 2 brothers are being babysat by their weird aunt who feeds them prunes that turn them into old men. She apparently does this for the purpose of hooking them up with 2 single older women who have paid for her matchmaking services. Because if you can't find any single old age pensioners, just make one. And obviously this is supposed to be creepy. I mean, it's the episode's premise, but as an adult you realise she was essentially trying to human traffic her own underage nephews. And do these women not care that the men they want to marry will still mentally be like 14? Number 3, my best friend is invisible. So this episode was based off a book of the same name, about a kid who visits a haunted house and is then followed home by a ghost boy. Plot twist, he's not a ghost boy, he's a flesh boy. He's just an invisible one. Double plot twist, He's invisible because he's hiding from the aliens that have taken over the planet. Because every single character we've met up to this point has actually been an alien. This kind of twist sort of works in book form. You realize, oh, I guess they never said they were human, I just assumed, because why wouldn't I? But when you're watching a TV show, you have eyes. If they put the characters in alien costumes, you're gonna know they're aliens. So instead, they decided to do this. This is... I don't like this. Number 2, My Hairiest Adventure. So this kid Larry uses an expired bottle of suntan lotion on his skin, and then, coincidentally, he starts sprouting werewolf levels of hair. All his friends who also use the suntan lotion start disappearing one by one, and their parents just insist they never had any kids at all and move away. And then a bunch of dogs start showing up and following Larry around. Is the suntan lotion turning everyone into dogs? No, because they were dogs all along. Apparently, the entire neighborhood was part of an experiment that turned dogs into human children. Puberty just causes the process to reverse permanently, and the whole thing makes every adult involved look terrible. They all knew why Larry was growing hair, they just chose to gaslight him rather than tell him the truth. And now they just have an intelligent dog that remembers being a people, and he's just gotta live like that for the rest of his life, which is probably quite short because he's, already 12 and he's a dog. But the other parents, they are worse. They are way, way worse. They just ditch their kids as soon as they turn back into dogs. Is that parental neglect or animal abuse? And nobody learns from this. The episode ends with Larry's parents turning his pet cat into their new baby. And Larry has to live with this. He has to live with seeing his pet be raised as a child while he, the child, is now the pet. And number 1, how to kill a monster. A brother and sister are sent to stay at their grandparents' house in the swamp, where they quickly discover there's a swamp monster in one of the rooms. Now they have to kill it before it kills them. And these grandparents, man, they are ridiculous. First they tell the kids to stay out this one room, but not because there's a monster inside, no, because they didn't want to scare them. You know what's scary? Almost dying like 5 times. Then they not only leave them alone in the house with the monster, but they lock the door, supposedly to protect them from going out into the swamp where there genuinely could be other monsters. But that doesn't exactly matter if they're stuck in a house with one that's going to kill them. And the thing is, this entire episode starts with the granddad forgetting to pick them up from the airport. So that just implies that the reason all of this happens is because the 2 grandparents are senile. The real horror here isn't being trapped in a house with a monster. It's realizing a loved one's deteriorating mind is making them unsafe to be around. And those are my top 5 strangest Goosebumps episodes, which is saying something because there are a lot of contenders. Trust me, guys. Trust me. But yeah, I love Goosebumps, and I am genuinely sad that it did not stay on TV longer and get a dozen more seasons. Just make every single Goosebumps book into an episode of the TV show. Just bring it back. Bring it back, please. So what about you guys? Did you watch Goosebumps as a kid? Are there any episodes you particularly remember? Be they weird, good, or scary? I don't know. Tell me about them in the comments. And have a happy Halloween! Woo! Is my Satan dress angled the right way? That's not something I thought I'd be saying today. Okay, that was a good wee intro. I think. I'm comfortable with that. I'm happy with that emotionally. Are there any episodes you particular blah 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 blah? And obviously this is supposed to be creepy. It's the episode's premise. Where was I going with this?